everyone. Hello to the people on Zoom. I know that you can't see me, but my name is Jessica, and I'm here today to talk to you guys about BridgeGood. So we are based in Oakland, so just not too far from here. And we help designers like you guys get more knowledge and get your foot in the tech industry. So today we're going to talk to you a little bit more about what we do and the programs that we offer, and I recommend that you guys take notes. I was in your guys' shoes not too long ago, having just graduated as a student at Davis, where I was studying design, and I have gone through multiple BridgeGood programs, and taking notes is helpful because we will definitely be covering a lot today. Okay, so here, for the people that can't see me, this is an illustration of me and a little bit more about me. Like I mentioned, I was a student at UC Davis where I got my bachelor's in design and history. I grew up in Oakland, so definitely consider myself a native. And like I said, I participated in BridgeGood programs before, including their Inspire Oakland Design Challenge, which I'm excited to talk to you about today. And don't be a stranger. That is my Instagram handle, and I would love to connect. And Steve.
Hello, everyone. I'm Steve. Today I'm taking photos, and I'm an auto designer from I'm graduate student from Cal State East Bay. Now I'm in BridgeGood, and I'm international student. I'm sorry. And this is joining BridgeGood is really like a great journey for me, and this is one of great opportunities I got. BridgeGood provides a lot of chance and resources for the designers, and I'm really happy to join you guys today.
Thank you. All right. Good afternoon, everyone here and online. My name is Elisa, program manager at BridgeGood. In my past life, I was a clothing and textile designer working in the apparel industry, but now I am a visual and UX designer thanks to BridgeGood. So I was in your shoes, just like Jessica was just a few years ago. And, I was really inspired by the opportunity and the resources BridgeGood have provided me with. So now we're here to share these resources with you and paying it forward. And before I introduce our executive director, I would like to share this short video with you. So take a look.
Calling all designers, those inspired to make something iconic. Every visionary starts as a student, and one day, students transform to leaders.
Joining me in the studio is Sean Tai.
Sean Tai.
Sean Tai.
So if you guys don't already know who Sean Tai is, let me put you up on this game.
He's like a mentor, first and foremost, and somebody who made me believe more in myself.
Another legendary Oaklander, Sean Tai.
An entrepreneur who is socially responsible, looking out for his community and the youth who are coming up behind him, Sean Tai.
Executive Director, Sean Tai.
Sean Tai has taught thousands of students in dozens of schools that their creativity can change the world.
So how do they do it? Let's find out. Sean Tai.
The pro with an eye for turning a passion into a career.
My name is Sean Tai. I'm the co-founder and executive director of BridgeGood.
How do we take artists and make them the best version of themselves to make a social impact?
I think it's really about how do you empower under-resourced, underserved communities and actually solve a problem.
We need tech to see us as people. We need tech to respect us as people. And there's more talent from pipelines that they don't know yet.
Understand the needs of the people in our community and to invest in those initiatives as well.
Thank you so much. Sean is really terrific, I have to say that. He seems like
really, no, he really is.
He's got a lot of
He
energy,
reaches
too.
out to all parts, all segments of the community.
He's expanding to reach students in Southern California and Atlanta. His major funders include Google.org, Adobe, Twitter, Craigslist founder Craig Newmark, and MC Hammer.
Well, that's an eclectic group. What about Sean Ty inspires you? Sean is a motivator. He is a go-getter. Look what he has done.
Ask Sean Ty if you think I'm a liar.
All right, so now let's Executive Director Sean Ty.
Thank you. Thank you. That's a cool photo right there. It's Noah shoots for the Warriors. So he travels with Steph. He travels with the whole crew. Probably the best job in the world, honestly. So shout out to Noah there.
Noah.
Also, he's a volunteer at BRIDGEGOOD. So just a little bit about me. First of all, shout out to President Rowetta Tomnek, who's a great friend of mine. Love San Jose City College. And anyone that's watching online or in this room today, like Jessica said, please, we welcome you to be a part of BRIDGEGOOD. Everything we're presenting today is free, right? I've been doing this, I can't believe it, for almost 20 years, design. Can't believe it myself. Started BRIDGEGOOD 15 years ago. So I've been in your shoes as well, everyone here. But yeah, let's get going. So what is design for social good? And I'm sorry, what was your name in the back? Ghana. So what is design for social good? Yeah. So exploration. Yeah. What about you? What do you think design for social good is?
For social.
For social good. Design.
Maybe it's something about the human-centered design, like about observation and trying to know how it's experience of the people and try to solve based on that.
Yeah, perfect. You hit on it perfectly. People, right? So these are the 4 pillars of what we consider design for social good, which is people. You mentioned the people. Purpose. We're getting into what purpose means. Product. And then actually passion, right? And one thing before we move on, we're really happy to be a part of the first ever Digital Media Arts Week here at San Jose City College. So I wanted to state that. We're really excited to be a part of that. But let's get into what people means, right? Well, that's exactly right. We're training the next generation of design leaders. People like Jessica, people like Elisa, both went through our program, meaning we're giving them the skills to become leaders in not just the sector, but in their communities. And then purpose. One of the things about being a student is you're so focused on turning in, by the way, does the camera work over there? Oh, they don't know the terms. Okay. I was going to say hi to the people online, but is that you're going through school, right, Jessica? And you just turn in assignments. And rarely do you get to figure out what am I going to do for the rest of my life with the skills I'm learning. So that's what we're helping you do with the purpose part. Anyone from San Jose City College can join our design challenge, Inspire Opening, just like you did, Jessica, and potentially get their artwork on a billboard, just like Devon did, right? So inspireoakland.com is the website if you're interested in doing that. And then product. Once again, we're talking about design for social good. Well, we want to create products that help people. Steve and Jessica and Elisa, we were on the ride here. We were talking about how products can be addictive, right? We're on our social media. Something like a TikTok could potentially be devastating for young people that don't have their brains developed. So how do we actually build products that are actually positive for society? So one of the things we did is our platform that students can join and create free portfolios. That's an example of a product for good. And then you're talking about passion, right? So yeah, you want to get paid, but how do you go into work 5 days a week? You have to have and develop a passion for what you're doing. So one example is Nishant and Amu, who both went through our UX design apprenticeship, which we'll be talking about today, and that they can apply to. And they both, out of all things, became NFT digital artists. And actually, Nishant is actually just a regular artist who happened to create NFTs from that. Well, the reason we show this is that just because you learn UX through BRIDGEGOOD It doesn't mean you have to get into UX. Okay. So Elisa, what is BRIDGEGOOD? Why don't we talk about what BRIDGEGOOD is?
Yeah, so BRIDGEGOOD is a community design studio, and we are a 501c3 nonprofit organization. But even though we are a nonprofit, we're funded by big companies such as Google, Adobe, Golden State Warriors, and more. And we're here today to provide you with tuition-free resources and get you involved the same way we got me, myself, Jessica, and Steve involved when we were in your shoes.
So this is just kind of an overview of what we'll be discussing, but really what we're trying to do here at San Jose City College is represent digital media arts week, of course. But secondly, what do you need to launch a career in design? And that's effectively what we're here today to do. So we're going to go over a little bit about starting with your journey, right? So let's get into the journey portion. Well, why would I look at my own journey? Right, Elisa? And one of the things you asked is, hey, Sean, can you share your journey as maybe some inspiration for others, right?
Yeah, so feel free to take notes or photos or screen capture for those that are online, because we do have a lot to cover today, right?
So really your journey basically means you'll reflect on what you love. I mean, Janelle, you mentioned that you've been teaching your whole life, right? So there's something inside of you from a young girl that you probably said, I want to educate folks. I love learning. I love teaching, right? So starting with the journey, going back to my journey, right? It wasn't like, I don't think starting a nonprofit was ever part of that journey. In fact, I don't think it even came up once. I didn't even know what a nonprofit was. But starting at the age of 16 in the top left there, you can see that I really loved cars and I love people. And one of the things that I did early on, pre-digital graphics, was I made a flyer that said, I want you on my car club. And so I would go to different malls and I would distribute these on cars. That's how I started my car club. That car club eventually became the inspiration for a movie called Racer X, which when it came out was The Fast and the Furious. So I was really honored that my brother and I were the inspiration for the movie and franchise. The Fast and Furious.
And you guys were actually in the first
we were in the first movie
yeah.
as well, but we had no idea it'd be a success. We had no idea our story would generate, a $1 billion franchise, but that was a great experience. From the top right, you see furniture. My mom owned a furniture store in Oakland for 45 years, and she was having a problem of not having anything digital, right? She would come home, she would hand sketch everything, and believe it or not, she would fax her stuff to her factory in Hong Kong, which is crazy. So I said, Mom, why don't we start doing this thing called CAD, computer data drawing or draft, depending on what you call it. And I created 3D renderings. I did to the inch, to the spec, furniture design. And in the bottom right, I did a video show called Pushing the Bay TV with one of my rap heroes, Ray Love, who grew up with Tupac and Mac Dre. So from all of that, I thought, hey, creativity, community, design, technology, let me start something that can actually benefit people. Thus, the birth of BRIDGEGOOD. So you might be like, well, Sean, why didn't you just talk about a bunch of things that I don't care about? Well, you learn things from all of those experiences, right? From the car club, learning leadership, building relationships. This is a big one, communication, right? My mom's business, Rosewood House, adaptability. How do you grow with the times? How do you evolve? And then with the rap TV show that my mom thought was a terrible idea, I learned all of my networking. I learned how to do time management, and most important, self-discipline. You don't have a boss, you are the boss, right?
Sean,
Yes.
I don't know how far the microphone will catch you to speak closer to the laptop.
I think they'll hear my voice. I'll scream a little louder, okay? Oh, I will scream absolutely louder. Yeah. Stages of your creative career. So really what I did to show you all is I broke down what were the stages of that career. So an artist, meaning you love creating things, learning, you like learning things, doing, right, to get the experience, working to pay the bills, right? I mean, Jessica, we all got to pay bills, but sometimes you might be doing something you don't necessarily like. And then freelance and also the dreamer, which means you're building for your legacy. So as a homework for everyone tonight, what does success mean to you? Right? Before you think about your job or career, what is actually successful to you? How do you define that? That's really important. And I'm going to kind of go through this quicker, but the first slide I want to focus on the most is developing your why. Like, and I was just talking about with Janali, right? Like, why are you actually passionate about teaching? In our case, why are you passionate about creating? Why are you passionate about design? We were talking to Jessica in the car about the misconceptions of a lot of students is I need to graduate and just get a job right away. That's probably not what you need to do. What you need to do is, what did I learn at San Jose City College? All of the great things you're learning here. And then what specifically are you extremely passionate about within everything you've learned? Okay. And if you don't know yet, share your story with others and see what they think stands out the most. Reflect on what you enjoy doing outside of school. I'm going to go through these two. The next thing. And then I think the most important thing here is once you figure out your why, you can then apply that special skill set that you have into a job. But without the why, you'll never really figure it out. You really want to make sure you're solid on why are you doing this. Now, for example, if you notice with my own journey, they all involved teamwork, collaborating with others, good communication, right? So once you figure out your superpower, is it that you want to get into brand? I know Jessica's great at brand. Are you more into wireframes? So maybe you're in the bottom right UI. Are you more about interaction and engaging with folks through the web, multimedia, right? So once you figure out your superpower, it's easier to find out the title. So this is the most important, I think, Jessica, is this checklist. And I'll bounce off a few ideas with you. One, get your degree. And Janelle, what is the degree here?
So currently we have 3:
Okay.
user experience,
Okay.
graphic design,
Great.
and motion graphics.
Perfect. So whichever degree that you're studying at San Jose City College, you're doing that. So number one, you got, right? That's great. Networking and engaging with professionals. Jessica, I know for you, how was that experience like with BRIDGEGOOD, meeting a lot of professionals, and maybe talk about a few that you met?
Yeah. For me, when I was studying at Davis, I was grinding on my design degree and my history degree, but I mean, I was taking the curriculum that I needed to obtain that, but I wasn't necessarily reflecting on what I wanted to apply that to.
Yeah.
I knew that I enjoyed drawing and like speaking with people, but I just wasn't sure what that job listing would be on LinkedIn, you know? So BRIDGEGOOD offers, aside and along with its programs, this unique network of people, of students that are in the same position as you are, figuring out what they want to do, as well as they offer mentors that are in jobs that can give you insight unlike anybody else. And BRIDGEGOOD really stands out because they are already allocating time to like answer those questions, and they want to help you. And some of our biggest mentors being from companies like the Golden State Warriors, Kaiser, Adobe, and Google. And truly, there is no other way that I personally would have been able to have this insight into these positions that I potentially would want to be in.
Yeah, you brought up a good point that sometimes it's just getting the foot in, but getting the foot in the door might be the hardest part, right? And that's what we want to provide. To your point, going to events. We go to events all over the Bay Area. Most recently, most famously, Tesla. We met with 6 of their UX designers. Very great opportunity. We got to go to the floor of Tesla, get a tour, as well as get some great goodies by their design team. Building experience, you want to make sure you do that to get a job. And then documenting your journey. That's something in school I never learned, right? Again, you go through these classes, you turn in your assignments, then it's time for a portfolio, and you go, I didn't really document anything. That's the number one feedback we get from students, is they forget to document. Developing and optimizing your resume. Jessica, when is your resume done?
Your resume is never done.
Yeah, never done, right? And I remember Jessica came in for a resume review, and it was fantastic. And she's like, wait, I need to modify this for every employer? Absolutely. If someone's looking for art director, you better craft everything to look like art direction. If someone's looking for an interface person, you have to make everything feel like it's a wireframe or something visual design related, right? Developing case studies, as I talked about with the documentation, you want to start documenting all of your projects. If you don't document, you won't have any case studies. Okay. Third one, so important, is actually caring about your craft. I can't tell you how many students, when I go, why do you love design? They go, I love Photoshop. Not the best answer, honestly, right? So what you want to do is when you think about what you're passionate about, it should be within the ecosystem of design. I love the connectivity of technology and people. That's a good example. I love speaking with communities that are disadvantaged and figuring out problems to solve. Those are the reasons you love design. It's not about software. Last but not least, expanding and developing your web presence. What's a web presence?
Expose your business or your self-brand.
I like that you started with business because yeah, you're a small business, you're an entrepreneur. If someone when someone Googles you, this is for everyone online, they will Google you. And what happens is that, you know, a pool of 50 people, applicants, might go down to 25, and then it's going to end up at 10. They have 2 slots. So typically what they do is they look online for your portfolio. They look online for your X or Twitter or LinkedIn, and they're going to see how active are you. Another thing, is it consistent? Is one place say you're multimedia, the other place says you're UX, another place says you're an artist? That might look scattered, right? So making sure that it's all consistent. And those are the checklists of getting and launching a steady, secure career. So now comes to the portfolio. What makes a good portfolio to you? Without reading, I'm just curious, just as a conversation.
I think that you have to choose like the best projects that you have.
Yeah.
Short review about the process. Like it's good to show the process and the final piece or the final art.
Yeah.
But I think that the process also has like the same value that the end is.
Yeah.
Maybe they have to show like your graphic line, like your style, kind of.
Sure.
And yeah, and it depends also in what you are searching for.
Sure. So you hit on a lot of good parts. You hit one, show your best projects. Absolutely. We put here, typically as a UX designer starting out, 1 to 3 is enough projects. One thing that you definitely need to include is, like you said, a process. Now I'll say this, that what you don't want to say is just list out the design thinking steps. What you want to do is talk about what you learned, the insights from each of those processes, right? So yes, showcase your best work. What is the framework that you used? Keep it simple and easy to navigate. And one question we get a lot, Jessica, is I don't have time for a website. A lot of employers don't even need that, depending on where you're applying to. So you always want to solve the problem based on where you're applying to. One of our graduates now works at Etsy. She submitted a PDF portfolio. It wasn't even a website. Why? That's what they wanted, right? So it's not what you think is right. It's what the employer wants. Using real world examples. What does that mean? Using real world examples, having client facing projects. What does that mean? By the way, I'm putting her on the spot because I want to see did we train you correctly to see? What's a client facing project?
Like human-centered design. So in your portfolio, being sure that you understand like what the problem is and how your unique design process gave a solution. And making sure that you walk someone who has no idea about the project through like why your solution was the optimal option.
No, that's exactly right. So you have a stakeholder, right? You've talked to a client, you're solving their problem. Absolutely. So you're not just saying, I know affinity mapping, I know empathy mapping. Anyone can Google that, right? We met with the stakeholder and have a series of 3 different interviews. At the first one is getting to know each other getting to know each other. At the second, it was actually digging into their data. And the third was actually brainstorming some potential solutions with affinity mapping, right? With dot voting. Then you can get more into the design thinking process, but anyone can Google what is UX. So I just want to put this out there. You're not stating what design thinking is in your portfolio. You're stating, and here's another thing, what was your role? Right? So we have a lot of students that have beautiful portfolios. And when you actually ask, what did you create individually? They'll say nothing. It was A, B, and C. What I did was I did the research only. Well, great. Then you can expand the research. So maybe have one beautiful cover image, but focus on the part that you delivered. And why do you think I should focus on the part that I delivered only, mainly, Jessica? Why would you say that?
Well, the biggest thing for me when I was curating my portfolio was wanting to show all the work that I did, and then getting feedback from our mentors. It was just as important to identify how I worked with others to find a solution. And it's honesty. Like you don't want to say that you did more than you did and then be caught in that.
That's a really good point, because I think honesty goes a long way. And then also the ability to say, I don't know everything. Like, I want to get better at this area. Right now, I'm good at research. My goal is to be a better visual designer. And I think that's more powerful than saying, I kind of know 10 things, but not really good at any of them. Right. And that happens a lot too. Right. Last thing we put up there is keeping it updated is equally as important. As you pivot your career, keep everything updated. Right. Like one example is I used to promote being a designer more when I was doing architecture, and now it's pivoted more to consultant and speaking and BRIDGEGOOD, right? So you have to pivot your portfolio and presence as you update. Getting involved with BRIDGEGOOD. So what are some of the things that everyone watching could get involved with, Elisa?
Yeah, so if visual or graphic design is your thing, we highly encourage you to participate in our Inspire Oakland Design Project. But if you like research, talking to people, creating wireframe, then you might want to try apply to our UX design apprenticeship. And all year round, we offer open labs and tech events. So feel free to go on to the link you see here, bit.ly/BridgeGoodVIP to view available events and sign up.
Yeah, one great event as an example is we partnered with Kaiser Permanente this year. And this Friday, they're actually hiring paid interns, and BRIDGEGOOD participants have priority. So that's one example that if you're part of the BRIDGEGOOD ecosystem. Another example is the 49ers were hiring for muralists, paid jobs, of course, and we were able to get 3 of our designers hired. So when we've worked with you, like someone like Jessica, who's been part of us for 2 years, it's easy for me to speak about her because we've worked together. So that's why you want to get involved with anyone, not just BRIDGEGOOD. If your thing is tech, get involved with those companies earlier, better than later. So this is our studio. Yes.
Can you explain me what is the apprentice?
Yeah.
Shapes,
Absolutely. Let's go over all of those. Yeah.
We'll get into that.
We're going to start with like the open labs and programs that we have. They are held at BRIDGEGOOD studios in Jack London Square. It's a 3,000 square foot waterfront property. Everything with the whiteboards and interactive digital screens. It's really fun. It's somewhere we get to relax. It has all the hardware and software we need. Places that you go to through bit.ly/BridgeGoodVIP. Salesforce, we go there 2 to 3 times a year. US Bank, FinTech is a big space with designers. Now, when I say we go there, it's not just a tour of the space, it's actually interacting and working with their UX team. Adobe has, I know it's a huge presence in San Jose. There we are with the founder of a product called XD. That was a former product of Adobe. Etsy, these are all of our site visits through our platform. Inspire Oakland is for any visual designer that says, I'll give you Jessica's example. Tremendous artist, tremendous illustrator, needed to get more real world experience. Needed to have that client facing feedback. That's what you do for this. Go to inspireoakland.com for specs. And then what does that mean? Well, you're going to create a theme. What about Oakland inspires you? If you don't know anything about Oakland, even better, right? Because that way you can do that research. You're going to create these specs, a billboard, a bus bench, a digital display, and social media ad. And then you submit it at inspireoakland.com. Yes.
So at San Jose City College,
Yep.
we've had, sorry guys, I'm speaking louder.
Yeah.
So at San Jose City College, we've had good success
Yeah.
with your program.
Yes.
For the, I think Yab got the bus bench wrap.
Super dope.
And then we have, every year, we've had a lot of students going into the apprenticeship.
Yep.
And they have all done really well with
Yes.
their career in the past few years. And we're a new department.
Yes.
We've only been in existence 2 years. So there's a huge success ratio for BRIDGEGOOD with our collaboration. So I want to really encourage you guys for both the apprenticeship and the Inspire Oakland event.
Yeah.
They're absolutely brilliantly designed,
Yeah.
and it's local. So
Yeah.
we want to promote local businesses, and this is a great way. I had a question.
Yes.
Is there any qualification for students to apply for these? Age or school? What is the cutoff?
Well, San Jose City College is one of our best partners. So as long as when you submit, you say that you're with San Jose City College, you already get priority in terms of review, honestly.
Is this only reserved for college students?
It's 18 and above. 18 and above. So I can't say just because there are high schoolers that are 18, but just for legality reasons, we want to make sure they're adults that they can submit their own artwork.
I ask because high school students also participate in college today.
Yeah, and so absolutely if they're over 18, yes.
You have to be citizen or
No, we have tons of international students. By the way, Yab is like she's
Ethiopian.
she's great.
Yeah, Maria,
Yep.
she was from Ukraine.
Ukraine, right, right.
And then last year we have
Aretha.
Aretha, she's from South Africa.
Dude, you just mentioned like all of these.
And we had Brandon.
Brandon's fantastic. Yeah.
Actually did very good.
Yeah. We also have Stephen in 2022.
Student Quintero, yeah.
Yeah.
Lead graphic designer at San Jose Barracuda now.
Oh, wow. That's pretty impressive. And I love that you're bringing up all these examples because this isn't just about BRIDGEGOOD. I want to make that clear. This is about anything you do in your career, you'll need to follow the same steps. You're going to need to have client-facing projects. You're going to need to put yourself out there. I would say the number one skill right now that employers are telling us about is we want to meet students that aren't afraid to show their face. I almost fell out of my chair because a lot of things they're saying students that, 18, 19, 20, 21, born from the COVID era in terms of education, they're afraid to speak. They can't collaborate. Not their fault. I want to make that clear. There was a pandemic, right? So that skill of being able to show up 3 days a week, work on projects, get feedback, and honestly have bad days. Like you might think that's funny, but when you work 5 days a week, you're gonna have bad days. So to have days where you're not quite there and you're a little off are important to experience in a safe environment, right? So I'm gonna throw that out there.
Yeah. And I also want to mention that if all you have are school projects and passion projects, this is a great opportunity for you to work with an actual client.
Good point. Good point. Yeah. So absolutely. This is one example of Alan Lamb, who went to Chabot College, and there's a little bio about them. They were really inspired about Oakland Chinatown, and Oakland Chinatown is specifically the line dancing is what inspired Alan. So this is a real life submission that made the top 20. And here's kind of what a typical design process might look like is you create these thumbnails. And these are probably iterations like 8 or 9. So he went to our open labs, got feedback about these lines. We got to see the different types of concepts he had, even within the line dancing. You can see like the top left, there's different concepts in one board, right? From that, he also did a design style guide. And as he developed it, he came to Open Labs. And then this was his final piece here. Now, he made top 20. He didn't make top 6, so he didn't get a billboard. But the idea of that he came to about 6 different Open Labs, got feedback from a client, and then pitched this in front of 200 people. That is a portfolio piece, right? It's much different than just, I created something that I thought looked good and I turned it in, right? Which, by the way, school, I have to say this, you build all of your hard skills here. So I think that's a very valuable skill you need. But I think also like balancing that with real world experience is equally vital, right?
That's correct.
Social media flyer, 6-foot bus bench poster, 60-foot LED display, all part of that same campaign. Now you notice all the elements have been rearranged according to the format, right? So this is not just you throw it together in one day. This is something that you're going to be coming back up to you, by the way, it's on your own time. We have open labs every Friday. So you're able to come in. We're trying to do more in person. We're going to do a few virtual, but the idea is that you're going to get feedback from the client, which is BRIDGEGOOD. This is Julie and her, the Birds of Oakland, a very playful look of that. So if you're interested in Inspire Oakland Design Challenge, as a San Jose City College student, you get priority as being the first school that we visit. It's due April 12th. So you have tons of time. Due April 12th. You go to inspireoakland.com and there's this page where you submit all of your artwork, or you can just download the handbook first and check it out. Yes.
To mention that those of you in keeping with our partnership with BRIDGEGOOD,
Yeah.
we have made it a point to let me walk over.
Yeah. Please do.
So those of you who are doing honors program, if you are going to do any of these programs, the Inspire Oakland, it can be your honors portfolio. So you don't have to do two projects for your honors. You can get credit for both. This is us trying to make sure that BRIDGEGOOD has a continued partnership with us at SJCC. So if you are in the honors program, just fill up the form and this could be your extra project.
Wow.
But keep in mind, it's not part of your classroom project. So it's more of a passion project, sort of how we work in portfolios. But I highly encourage this. It's a bragging right, don't you feel? When you have your bench wrap or bus wrap or your bench. I remember Yab sending me that picture. Professor, check this out.
Yeah, I know.
This is so cool.
And she went on to San Jose State and she's
going to USF now.
She's doing
University of
huge
San
things.
Francisco.
She's doing big things. So really
So
awesome.
these students that I mentioned this past few minutes are coming in tomorrow at the alumni talk.
Yeah.
So you guys can join us for that.
They're awesome. Thank you for hopping in there. Yes.
I've been here for a week only. I don't know how much time it will take to complete the journey.
Yeah.
What you suggest, you or your products or technology can help me again.
Well, you have 3 months. And this is the first school that's getting the opportunity. So you have the most time of any school. So that's the good news. I would say develop hand sketches. Right? Hand sketches and get feedback earlier before you go to digital. Digital to me is the easiest part. It's getting the concept and getting the overall idea. And we have open labs. So you can join us for open labs and we'll have the links at the end. That's what I'll do. Yes.
It has to be on vector design, or you
No.
can do.
It could be PSD, and some of our participants created on Procreate.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it could be in different media, and we highly encourage you participating in the open lab to get feedback, not just from BRIDGEGOOD staff, but also from other creatives. A good example is 2 years ago, we had a student from Chabot. He created his design, never came to the open lab, and submit his artwork. It looks good, but there's a little something missing that unfortunately didn't make the top 20. But the following year, he decided to participate again. And this time he was religiously attending open lab, getting feedback from other people and keep reiterating his design. And guess what? He made the top 20 because his design from concept to the end product was just so much better compared to the year prior.
And yes.
For me and Sean,
Sure.
work in the industry and I come from the game world.
Yeah.
It's getting the feedback and reiterating it and
Yeah.
getting better at it.
Exactly.
Mistakes is the best way to learn.
It's also the
That's
hardest, let's be honest, like when I was a student, I sat in the back of the room. I hated participating. I hated feedback, just like most students. But what I realized is that's 95% of the workplace.
Exactly.
That you're going to be interacting and getting shot down a lot. Honestly, you're going to be getting shot down the majority of the time, especially at a bigger tech company. You might never see your design published.
I think the
It's
best
just a fact.
one
Yeah.
is that working with peers,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then working with the professionals.
Absolutely.
So it's a great way to get feedback and grow, personal
Absolutely.
growth.
And just as your point, what can you use? Summer used Microsoft Paint. So she did a full 8-bit in Microsoft Paint, which is unbelievable.
Has anybody ever done traditional hand?
Yeah, but they've digitized it. So like they'd scanned it in and then colored in. But as long as you submit these formats, like this and these, that's it. However you got it in, that is up to you. So now the apprenticeship, right? So let's say you went through the Inspire Oakland like Jessica, you love that experience, you talk to a client, you're like, let me dive deeper into the world of user experience. Some people might call it human-centered design. Doesn't matter what you call it. I call it process design. You have some process that you design with and design for. So we obviously, how might we affinity mapping, accessibility design, the Adobe suite, the basics of wireframing, prototyping. We also have other things like inclusion in design and tech. So why do we actually focus on that though? That's a huge question from instructors that don't teach UX. They're like, Sean, like I have just art students. I'd say this is probably more relevant to them than anyone else. And here's why. So when I went to a state school, graphic design was it. Like logo design, print work, brochure work. And by the way, I looked this up. I didn't know what the trends were myself. So I actually went on, did a Google search, and I found that the data is showing that effectively from 2019, which is a decade, to 2030 almost, graphic design jobs are going down 4% every year over year.
Best salary?
No, employment, like actual position. Yes. And then projected growth is almost 10% for UX related jobs. So what that tells me is if graphic design jobs are becoming less important, I know why. AI. Like the relevance of someone to create just an illustration with no thought. Like I just need an image of a person in front of a bike. That relevance is much less than I'm building this application, I'm assembling a team to figure out what's the problem we're actually trying to solve with this application. That skill set, which understands strategy, which understands process, is much more valuable. And think about it. Who would you rather hire? Someone that has a strategy business mindset that knows design methodologies, or someone that just colors or just does art? Now, I'm an artist myself, but in terms of employment, you need to know the fundamentals of UX to survive. Absolutely. So what does some of that look like? Now, these are older slides during the pandemic, but it shows kind of what we go over. Design systems. How do you create design systems off legacy or new designs? Prototyping, connecting different screens. Design thinking exercises. Hand sketching, dot voting, right? Building camaraderie with like-minded people. I know, I was talking to a friend, actually one of our volunteers from Meta. He's a product designer down in LA. He had a class at the end of last year, and I said, what's the number one skill that you think students need? He's like, likability. That's incredible, that answer. Likability. Like people have to like you. And I thought that was very genius because it has a lot to do with how do you work with people? How do you take feedback? How do you give feedback? How do you implement feedback? Like there's so many things that tells me, and you only build that when you work with others. Jessica brought this up about learning from what we call them professional educators and coaches. These are just some of the companies from last year. Every year it changes. We had 30 designers from the industry coaching last year's apprenticeship. Pretty amazing, honestly. We went to Google every other week. We worked out of Google every other week. And then we also worked out of Wells Fargo headquarters. So you're not just like working out of our beautiful studio. You're working in industry, level industry headquarters weekly. Yeah, I think here the idea is that I want to use the word inspiration, that sometimes in this industry, you can feel defeated. Right now, it's a very difficult time to get hired. And what I've seen, and you, Janelle, you brought up a great point of those students that you mentioned. As she was saying their names, I'm like, every single one made it. But all of them also stepped out their comfort zone. Also, they came out to BRIDGEGOOD events. I know you have she did at least 6 or 7 open labs. I know that because I helped her with some of those iterations. So you need to get out there and get inspired by others, in addition to the instructors here at San Jose City College.
My classmates and
Yeah.
coworkers.
That's right. Right.
Because classrooms are designed to give you skills.
That's right.
The rest of it has to be on your own time.
That's right. And that's really important, is that this one year we had an apprentice that dropped out because he said, I don't want to do any studying outside of hours at BRIDGEGOOD. And I basically said that you're not going to make it as a designer. Right. But he literally said, I can't work outside those. I'm like, we're not, you have no assignments from BRIDGEGOOD. If you hear about design thinking and you want to learn more on your time, please do that. And he took that as homework. Once you get to the real world, anything you learn on your own, that's not homework. That's like your craft. That's your baby. That's what you're going to be doing for the rest of your life. So that doesn't stop. That's not just BRIDGEGOOD. That's everything, right?
Same mindset to carry over with Inspire Oakland. Like, it is work to create this multimedia campaign, but this is your craft. This is something that you're passionate about. And I mean, for me, yes, you could be entertaining yourself with Netflix or TikTok or Instagram, but instead of doing that, why not put time into something that will benefit you not only as a designer in your career, but as a person in this safe space where people are already making time for you and want to help you build your skills. So I completely agree.
I did want to add though that every one of our students who has done your program have been putting this on their resumes, their bragging rights.
Yes, great.
Because it's an independent accomplishment.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, thank you. I didn't even think about that when you participate, even if you don't win, you can put participate in Inspire Oakland 2022, top 20, top 6, receive 3 billboards, whatever it is that you accomplish, you can put on there in addition to everything else you get from school. Are there clubs here at San Jose City College?
Yes.
So join a club here at San Jose City College, especially when you don't have experience. Do those things, because you're going to need those experiences if you don't have experience, especially, right?
That's right.
So what is this capstone? The capstone project basically means at the end of the apprenticeship, you're put in a team, a small team, and you create a project. Do you want to talk about one of the projects from last year?
Yeah. So here is an example of a capstone project created by 4 of our 2022 graduates. This is the landing page where you can find our mission, testimonial, and founding partners. And here is the onboarding page. And this page actually is where you sign up for a design challenge. And here it encapsulated all the different challenges that are available. So let's check out this first one, Design for Visual Impaired. And once you decide to participate in a challenge, you have the option to either collaborate with other designers or a mentor. Yeah, and this is your dashboard. And besides the challenge, you can also see designs submitted by other participants. For example, here is a tea company logo designed by Sean. Yes, so this is the end-to-end process of what an apprentice is creating at the end our BRIDGEGOOD's UX design apprenticeship.
It's pretty amazing because, as you see, this is called a high fidelity prototype. Thinking about, you take a group of students that have never done any type of UX design, teach them all the methodologies, build camaraderie with the team, and they can actually deliver a tangible product that they created with the help of other coaches from the industry. That's pretty impressive, right? So I think in tandem with San Jose City College and other colleges we work with, you're going to need to know the hard skills. I think here it's how do you work with 3 other people and actually come up with one, we need to create a design challenge platform. And then 2, how do we divvy up the tasks? That's the part where I can't give you the answer. You got to experience it. Right. And then after graduating, we still are here to help you. That's really important. As I mentioned earlier, it's all free. Because we're a nonprofit, we get funding to do this work. In the center, you'll see Jessica with Tori and Maribeth, also graduates with the Golden State Warriors champion diamond rings. So in the top right, Pablo is actually the head graphic designer of the Warriors. So we have volunteers that are pretty cool. In the top left is Vivian, who worked at Slack and LinkedIn. So yeah, you're building your resume, your portfolio skills, because those, they're never done. So we realize that some students might be a little bit behind with where they're at. So this is really intended that you don't just graduate and we're done with you. As you mentioned, Denali, that, you become an alum of BridgeGood, you're always part of BridgeGood. So we really want to support you kind of for life, honestly. Yeah, so we're actually redesigning that for this summer. So we paused on that for a second, but we do have a portfolio site that you'll be a part of redesigning for this summer. So thank you for mentioning that. What else can you do, right? So let's say that you're like Jessica. This is a great example. Jessica's like, hey, Sean, I'm really picky about where I want to work because I want to make sure that I work at a company that I respect and I want to be at. Do you have any paid opportunities? This is a true story. Like, yeah, we need people to go with us to schools and we'll pay. So someone like Jessica that we trust, that we know is extremely talented, will hire you for paid opportunities. Similar to Jessica Lanisha in the top left, we hired her for a Golden State Warriors campaign where we trained youth about design, and that was a paid gig. We've worked with the Oakland A's for different types of design projects. In the top right and the center, that's me posing in front of the mural that our students created. These are all paid projects. In the bottom right, USC hired BridgeGood Design Studio. Elisa oversaw this project where it was a huge campaign where we designed an entire magazine. So once you're part of BridgeGood, you get not just the experience, the skills, but you also get paid. And I think that's really important as well. So get involved. Yes.
You have design, outdoor and social media.
Yeah, it's important to have the skills to do all types of design, but I would say it's the same software.
Advertising and
yeah, depending on the material, yes, the same software you can with Photoshop, Illustrator create indoor, outdoor, digital. Yes, that's a good question. So this is a lot that we covered, right?
Yes.
Let's say I know I'm interested, but I just want one link where I can go to it. What is that link?
You got it.
Yeah.
So just go to bit.ly/getinvolvedbridgegood. Here we list all our tuition-free programs. You just select the ones you're interested in, and one of our BridgeGood staff member will get back to you within 5 business days of the information and the link related to that program.
So one example is Steve actually, he clicked the become a volunteer, right? And he's like, I love BridgeGood, I love the mission. How do I just get involved? And he proposed to us to be a part of BridgeGood. And so even if you don't know how to be involved with BridgeGood, fill this out because you might be like Steve and visit schools with us, right? Mm-hmm. So we welcome anyone and everyone that is curious to join the BridgeGood team. I love this photo. This is actually where we have like a seating area that has palm trees. It oversees the entire bay right outside BridgeGood. And our students ate lunch there every day. And these were all, no one knew each other. And at the end, we were like a fam. It was pretty cool. So if you want to build a community outside of San Jose City College, please invite your fellow City College team members and students to join. This was last year. Yeah, Brandon's there. Brandon.
And Aretha is
Aretha's in there too with the glasses, the shades.
Yeah, she's right next to me in the center.
and you know what's funny? Because like both of them were like, one was fashion, the other was like just general design. I guarantee you, if I asked them what skills they learned, it'd probably be non-design related in a good way. Like just showing up 3 days a week and just going through these problems. I asked Steve, what's the most important skill he thinks is important to have? He said critical thinking. I agree, by the way. Critical thinking is a big one. So That was fun. That was fun. Check out our Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. YouTube's good because you get to hear from the students, not us, and hear about. And I love that the most, Jessica. It's just like having them talk, not us.
And it's all non-script.
No script, no script, not paid, no script. Yeah.
And if you still have additional questions, feel free to email me at elisa@bridgegood.org.
I think we just have some room for. Yeah, please.
Oh, yes.
Elisa BRIDGEGOOD.org. And I will say, speaking about President Rowena here, I've known her for 6-7 years. And a big part of the design industry and tech, it's not just networking, but it's cultivating a relationship that's meaningful, right? And I think what we have here at San Jose City College, and you just look up and you see all these examples of success, it starts with leadership. So I want to say thank you, Denali, like round of applause, Denali here. Yeah. And he couldn't do it without you. And then of course, other students promoting it to each other as well is important. So with that, you're going to be passing out some
stickers and business cards.
If you don't want it, it's okay. They're optional. Do we have any questions? And I think at least you're going to go there and pass it out.
Yes.
So you can just stay seated. Are there any questions for us? Any thoughts? Okay. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, everyone that joined online as well.